Ha! Fix it! Fuck you! Hello everyone! Sorry, I was fixing mic issues. And I'm setting things up on another screen that you can't see right now. But hello, first time chatters! Hello, hello! How are you today? Hope everyone's doing well. Happy belated New Year's, I guess. I kind of forgot to mention that, you know, this is the first stream I've had since the new year. I didn't even realize it until, like, as I was setting up. I was like, oh yeah, this is the first time I'm doing this. And it's kind of weird, quite honestly, but it is perfectly fine. Alright. Ah. Why? Ah, there we go. Took a minute. Took a minute for it to work. Hello there. How is everyone doing today? I don't even know what to mention. Thank you. Thank you. These are attached to the front of my hair. So they're wobbly. How's everyone doing today? How is your week so far? I hope your week has been well. Hope everyone's doing well. Alright. So first off, my week's been fine. Very exciting week so far. I'm just trying to think of things to talk about. Like, okay. So yeah, my week so far has been pretty good. Set up a couple things because I'm going to be very busy. Okay, filled in inside, nothing new. Well, I hope you feel better soon, Tart. I really do. You deserve happiness. You deserve love. All that fun stuff. Because you deserve it. And I will fight anyone, including you, who does not think that. And that goes for everyone in chat today. You deserve it. You deserve happiness and love and all that fun stuff. Yes, hug. Hug. Alright, yeah, my life is going to be very busy. I'm prepping for graduation. Like, I'm going to be graduating college soon, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of freaked out. I'm very freaked. Hello, Sus. Hello. Hope you're doing well today. I'm just speaking. Yeah, I'm gonna be well, I'm graduating college. I'm not graduating VTubing. I don't like that they call it that. Like, I've never liked VTuber stuff. Like, if you're quitting being a VTuber, you're gonna call it graduation. What? How the fuck is that there? What the hell is that? Hold on, I gotta fix Moobot here. Moobot, the fuck? Fuck, man. What the hell is that command? It's, followage. Right? No, that's... Move command. It's not okay, Moobot. That's, don't click on that link, please. I don't know what channel that is. Could be mine. I wouldn't know. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be graduating college soon, and it's freaking me out. I have 2 more classes I need to take this semester before I officially am done, and it's weird because I've been in school my entire life. I've always been in school. I've always just been around, and it's crazy that I'm finally gonna be done with it again. Why are we dropping frames? OBS, why? Okay, we're better. We should be better. I swear to God. I want to scream. Come on. don't do this to me now. Looks like yours took the risk. Yeah. Sorry if my bitrate is dying right now. It was fine. My internet was fine all day. And I was very happy with Xfinity. I was like, oh, Xfinity, thank you for being a good person today. And now here we are, suffering from success, I guess. Or Xfinity just really loves hating me for some reason. Either way. So yeah, I'm preparing to graduate this semester from college, and that's crazy. I don't know what to do with myself, so I'm going to be streaming a lot more to somewhat establish myself as a good streamer, and hopefully make enough money to pass by. I might go back. Is the thing, because I'm getting my associates. I could easily go to another 4-year college and complete my degree in the bachelor's, but I don't know if I want to do that because that requires a lot more stuff for it. There's a lot more work that goes into it, and I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I don't know. I need to figure that out. The sooner the better, obviously, but for right now, I am just here existing with you guys, and I'm having fun. What else is happening in my life recently? Brain dead. Oh god, what else is happening? Oh, right. I have commissions open. If y'all ever want commissions from me, because I am an author. For anyone who is not privy to that information, I am an author, and okay. Mission form. There we go. If you have any mods in chat, actually no, I'm gonna make Moobot work for me for being a dumb bitch earlier. Custom commands. Missions, baby. Advanced options. Save. Okay, yeah. We'll just leave it there and then exit out of those. Okay, that should be good. Again, it's now going to do some fun stuff. But yeah, I'm an author and I'm doing commissions right now because well, I just kind of felt like it. I want to make sure that this new year is, coming off with a bang. I want to do more stuff. I want to not just sit around and play games all day. Even though I could stream that easily. Like I could easily stream that and people would have no problem with it. Alright, what else am I doing? I have a couple things and plans. I don't really have a lot. I'm just gonna be winging it. Wing, because I'm a bee. I have wings. Laugh. Laugh, chat. Laugh for me. Either way, I believe we are ready to set and go. I'm not going to be doing a long stream. I might end up doing like an hour and a half stream. Because I don't really want to stream too long, because I'm gonna be sleeping really early, and I have to wake up really early, and I have to be awake by 6:40. I have to be, and that's really early for me. Check yourself. All right. Thank you. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Much appreciated. I appreciate the stretch redeem, Darth. Dun, dun. This is a nice playlist and all, but I feel like it's too slow or too quiet. But that's just me. I'm just looking at a couple things real quick. As I'm looking through YouTube, I'm looking through Twitter replies. I don't think there's any Twitter replies. I forgot to put myself on Twitter. Let me make that tweet. Hold on. That's funny. I gotta remedy that real quick. I totally forgot to do that. This isn't late. Shush. Okay. Oh no. I mean, Ice Cube is the source of for that funny little redeem there, but no, I need to figure out audio splitting on OBS. I haven't done that yet because I'm stupid. I forgot to do it. There's no replies on Twitter, so we'll just go ahead and do that's a good video. I'll just pull up his entire channel and go through it because I like Barnaby. I'm gonna go to sleep. All right, good. Get some good rest, Darth. Thank you for the good luck. Get some good sleep. I hope you rest well. Yeah. That's all I got. Yeah, that's as far as I got. All right, I'm gonna put a pause to you because I don't need you anymore. All right, let us begin in the funny zone. Oh, all right, we're in the funny zone now. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. That's copyrighted music. I can't play that. Sadness.
We're dating.
Dating, got it.
Actually, you can go ahead and get right talking.
Is it talking or dating?
Talking, you know, like the earlier stages.
Oh, guess we're just talking now.
So, which is it?
We're on our way to my mom's birthday brunch. You think I'd just bring a random stranger off the street to that?
So she is your girl.
Whoa, man. You basically forced me to go to this brunch.
You said you wanted to meet my mom.
That's where you messed up. That's a really big
I
step.
said that because I know you wanted me to want to meet your mom.
Truth comes
I
out.
think I should just write girlfriend because it sounds like you kind of owe it to her.
This is news to me that my boyfriend is talking to other girls.
Not your boyfriend.
I just need something to write down for the insurance
Why
company.
don't you tell the insurance company that my boyfriend is a cheating piece of shit?
I'm not cheating.
You just
Oh my
said you were
god.
talking to other
No, I
girls.
went like that. That means I could.
I fucking hate Ether. I'm with Sino here.
What?
I'm with Sino. That's sad. Oofda. Trying to stream? Hey, welcome in. Welcome in. Hello. It only took 6+ months. Yeah. It happens. It happens. I don't think I can actually play any of his stuff. Fuck. I am doing very well. How about you? I hope you're doing well today. I'm just gonna casually watch some Internet Historian. His shit is good. I like his videos. They're fun to watch. Alright, Man in a Cave. I've watched a lot of these videos already, but it's nice to go back and rewatch them. Just because it's funny. Okay. Last day of the week.
There is
Oh, nice. What type of
But
pizza
every
is it?
now and then demands a sacrifice.
It demands a sacrifice. That's what it does.
February 30th, 1920.
That's what it needs.
This blank check.
That's not what I wanted to do at all. Ah, ASIQ! Thank you for the resub. Thank you, thank you.
In the state of Kentucky,
There is a cave.
that every now and then
Thank you for the resub. Hello, hello. There's a cave in Kentucky.
January 30th, 1925.
Okay.
A man walks towards the cave with a kerosene lamp in his hand. He hangs up his jacket and ducks into a 5-foot opening. The
Turn this
inside
up
of
for
the
myself.
cave is narrow. He has to drop down on his hands and knees.
Hands and
through a
knees.
passageway filled with jagged rocks and choking dust. Then down a chute he had cleared out.
Oh, right. This is for anyone who is claustrophobic. This is not the video for you because funny thing is it's a smoke meat pizza kinda. Why is this smoke meat? I've never heard of that before. Can you like describe like what type of toppings are on it? Because that's very interesting. I'm curious now. You have my curiosity. I gotta make sure good network limiter is on. I'm not in. I'll just stay in 720.
Months earlier. All of the daylight is gone from here, and this lantern
What is that
is his
emote?
only source of light.
That's a
Entering the
fucking
loose
cute emote.
sandstone rocks perched directly
That's a
above
really
him,
cute
he
emote.
is now 100 feet in, and here he reaches the turnaround.
Okay, but
Now they call this the turnaround room because this is the juncture where even experienced cavers say, no thanks, and turn around. Because to continue on means going through this. The squeeze.
smoke.
A gap in the stone of only 9 inches.
9 inches.
For reference, here's a subway sub.
Holy shit.
Going through, he would look exactly like this. His arms will need to be completely at their side, and he will need to exhale so that he can reduce the size of his torso. Gradually, bit by bit, he disappears into the hole.
I wish I was 9 inches.
Gypsum crystal.
What? Why do you want to be 9?
Threatening to hold him in place.
Oh.
Like paddles, he pushes through.
He
reaches a wider opening at the other side.
Smoked beef, cheese, onions, some pepperoni, actual tomato. Ooh, that sounds really good.
10-foot drop. A rope is already
Oh, hell no.
around a boulder, which allows him to rappel down.
Yeah, no, this is...
His worn-out leather shoes touch the ground. This is as far as he can go, and it is time for work to begin. What he is working on is another opening. At the moment, it's too small for anyone to fit through. But he
Can you
will
guys hear it
chip
well?
away at it until he can shove himself right
Oh,
through the
that
other
was
side.
the issue.
Because on the other side is this. A magnificent
I
and
didn't-
otherworldly cave structure that will
No,
be
I would not do it if
irresistible
someone paid me.
to tourists. Every day for months, he has been removing rocks from this crevice.
No, if I would, you cannot pay me $1 million to go into that cave and do that. Fuck you. I would not do that. I would never, ever, 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 ever do that.
To him, this is all just routine. So he eases further into the gap. Carefully, he contorts his body through. Rocks compress the sides of his torso so close that his arms are pinned to the side of his body. He once again paddles his feet to inch down.
Oh, God, this
Then,
is
about
awful.
halfway, he stops. The lantern. It's starting to dim. He will need to go all the way back to the
no.
surface to refuel the thing. He sighs. He slowly shuffles back out,
No.
pushing the lantern
never.
with his shoulder. Then, oh no. Dim, crack, darkness. He has knocked
Oh,
over
shit.
the lamp, and it has broken.
And it's broken.
Now, the man didn't panic.
But by the way, let me know how audio is for you all. I'm not good with audio, so haha. Haha.
He had been caught in the dark before, and he could make his way back by feel alone. So he continues worming out, leveraging his foot against what he thinks is the cave wall. But that is not the cave wall. That is in fact a rock protruding from the ceiling. As soon as he puts his weight against the rock, it breaks loose. A
I
solid
hate
piece
this.
weighing 15 kilograms lands directly on his ankle.
No.
It aches. But he's
15
okay.
kilograms?
It doesn't
That's
feel
so
as though his
much.
ankle is broken, just badly bruised and caught underneath the rock. So he shuffles to move the rock away. Suddenly, gravel. A lot of gravel. It
Oh,
falls
dear
onto
God.
his feet, his legs, his torso, and the weight of it all forces the wedged rock deeper into the gap underneath his foot.
This is bad.
Pinned. He tries to push forward. He cannot. He tries to inch backwards. He
No
cannot.
worries, Tart.
He is
Have
stuck.
a wonderful night.
This is Sand Cave.
I appreciate all lurkers,
This man
so
is Floyd
if you're
Collins.
lurking, I
He is
appreciate you
trapped in
nonetheless.
absolute darkness, 60 feet deep
Like an
below
empty
the
room.
earth.
I try to fix that,
All
honestly.
of his limbs held
I don't know how to
in
fix it.
place at the very bottom
Like
of this.
I've tried fixing it, and I don't know how to fix it. And I might need a new mic. Oh, fuck no. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, fuck you. That's so far down.
But before I tell you what happens next, ad time. Speaking of people trapped in a cave, World of Tanks. World of Tanks is not only the best game I have ever played, it is the only game I have ever played. It's like Cars, but tanks. Picture this. You're a hot
Good chow.
3485M, and you've just joined the battle because some Cromwell B tank-bagged your entire family. It's time for revenge. You must use strategy. You must use stealth. You must use your wits to defeat your enemies. Use long range or short range. It's available on console, but I want you to get it on PC. Imagine a world war, but there are tanks involved this time.
But
Yeah, now you get it. When you've
Tanks
seen as
are-
many messed up tanks as I have, you get a little cynical about the world. My God, I'm gonna be sick. Look at all the different tanks. You can collectomize and customize them all. Massive battles where you can constantly team kill and ruin other people's good time.
What the f***? I'm out of your f***!
Did I mention it's historically accurate? Especially the Japanese robot tanks. Ooh, look. The tanks are kissing. Progressive.
Maybe a tank out of the
Use
hole.
the invite
Yeah,
code TankMania and get the Excelsior. 250k credits. Other stuff. Go to the link in the description and use the invite code TankMania. Here's what you do. Get World of Tanks. Put that on one screen. Then, on a second monitor, you'll watch the next hour of this video while you play the game. Perfection. I'm
Perfection.
contractually obliged to say thank you for being a friend. Sarge, no! Tank's empty, kid. Go on without me. No, use
This
your
is-
repair consumable. It's too late, kid. Tank care of my family for me.
The-
No. Get it. Add o. Collins is still in the dark, unable to move. His left
Unable to
arm is
move.
pinned underneath his torso, his right wedged by the rock ceiling above. Beneath him, sharp crystal shards dug into his skin. Ice thawed, traced across the ceiling, and dripped down directly onto his face,
That's
pooling underneath him. The water was a consistent 54 degrees.
fucking
Floyd
cold.
tried to breathe calmly in the concentrated dark.
That's not
When
good.
he did attempt to shuffle, more gravel and rocks would tumble from above and pile onto his feet, so
Okay.
nothing would work. He clawed at the cave walls till his fingertips were bloody, and he realized that there was only one option left.
To give up.
Out for help.
No.
But wait. Who is Floyd, and why did he even go into a
Yeah,
dangerous
why the fuck
cave?
would you do that?
Floyd has been exploring the caves of Kentucky since he was merely 6 years old. And as he grew up, he gained a reputation for being a very daring caver. He would dive into some hole on one side of town and emerge miles away on someone else's property.
Sup?
He grew up and he became embroiled in the Kentucky Cave Wars.
There's a
That
fucking
was
cave
way too
war.
much to go into here, but the summary version is there's this huge network of interconnected caves called Mammoth Caves. It's
Mammoth
actually the largest cave
Caves?
system in the world.
Okay.
And there's a city right in the middle of it. Cave City.
Okay.
Real name. So of course there are dozens of cave entrances on
Of course that's
private
the real
property
name. Why
all
would it
over
not
the
be?
place. Now farmland in this region has very poor soil, and
Okay.
things do not grow well here. So
Which
cave tour
makes sense because you have, like, if you're trying to farm in this area and there's a massive cave system, the water is going to sink into the caves and pool, you know, and create like underwater caverns and all that fun stuff. So it makes sense why the soil would be kind of shit, you know. This is the one smart thing I'll say today.
tourism as a source of income quickly became the prominent thing.
Hmm.
However, a problem. There are a very large number of caves, but there are only a limited number of tourists.
Too much demand,
So
not enough.
competition
Sorry.
rapidly escalated.
Too much supply, not enough demand. Classic thing to run into with this type of shit, especially in a small area back in the 1920s. You know, this is like bordering 1930, right? This is like a couple of years before or during the Great Depression.
Visit my cave. No. Visit my cave. Big signs were erected saying, tourists, come to me. Mine is definitely open. Mine is the best. But then competitors would respond by saying, hey, by the way, we're open, but don't go to that one over there. It's really shitty.
It's
In
really
fact,
shitty.
it's dangerous.
It's
This
dangerous.
kept going further. By the end, they were blocking off the trail to each other's property, beating each other in the streets, and hiring people called cappers who would dress up as policemen and tell tourists, no, you can't go in there. That what? No, it's illegal. Despite the fierce competition, Floyd found a cave on his property and he started advertising it to tourists. Of course, very few came.
Very few.
All right, he thought, what if I found something really special and unique? Then surely people would have to come to my cave to see it. So he kept exploring and exploring until he found this hollow. It was filled with big gypsum crystals, and when you were in there, it felt like a completely alien world.
I mean, that looks like a
It was
completely
barely
alien
accessible.
world.
This small tunnel is the only way in. He would need to dig for months to open it up to tourists. But he knew
I would never, like,
back to the
if I was a tourist and I had to go through a small hole, don't take that out of context. If I had to go through a small hole, no. Never. You cannot pay me enough money to do that.
competition. They knew the value of this cave. They knew the potential,
They knew the
they wanted
potential.
it for themselves, and they wanted Collins gone. One time, 5 of them just wandered onto
Cave
Floyd's
wars,
property
Q
and
Crescent.
demanded he hand over the weapon. When he refused,
Oh, we need
they
that.
just started beating the
We
shit out of
absolutely
him.
need that.
This only stopped when Floyd's brother, Homer, marched out with a shotgun and chased them all off. But Floyd was not deterred. He spent 12 hours a day, every day, for months,
12
clearing
hours a
gravel and
day.
stone, chipping away at that passage. He would
Yeah.
open it up to tourists, make his cave an incredible attraction, and make his dream
Excuse me. Shit. No, Frey, no. It's a clip. No. Okay, if you clip it, make sure to send it here. You should be able to send links here. I don't think I have them blocked. If you do, I'll just make sure that you're able to send it. I think you're able to send links. Also, there's this funny thing called a Discord that you can also send it into. So, yeah.
So there's Floyd in the dark, yelling out for help. He's at the start of a very tiring loop. Sleep, wake,
Yell.
yell.
Sleep, wake, yell.
Hours passed. His voice gave in. Arms tingled numb. Pain radiating up his ankle. Here he remained in the dark for the next 23 hours.
I would fucking go crazy if I was stuck in a cave for 2 hours, let alone
Quickly you might wonder,
3
how
or
come no one's come for him after
21.
23 hours?
23 hours, baby.
Well, Sand Cave resides on a 200-acre farm. There are several homes on this property with other families. One of them, of course, is Colin's house, where Floyd's father, Lee, resides. Now, Lee and Floyd constantly get into fights about how to run things. Lee wants his son to concentrate on farming, and Floyd wants to concentrate on cave tourism. Arguments would often get heated. And Lee was also a bit of a drunk. It was doubtful that he would even notice if his son Floyd was missing. Also, not
yes,
helping
drunks.
things, Floyd regularly lodged at 2 other homes on the farm. So when he didn't
Yeah, I know
return
you
to
like
one
clipping.
host,
Clipping is
they
fun.
would presume that he was staying with the other. And, even worse than that, he had recently spent 30 hours in a cave. So disappearing for this length of time wasn't seen as abnormal. Regardless,
There should be a way for you to clip it, but you did not clip it. It's okay. It'll be in the VOD. No worries.
around the 23-hour mark, a few locals started to suspect that, hey, something might be wrong, and
Ugh,
they went
fuck.
to check up on him. And here, they spotted his jacket, still hung up. Unusual. They went deeper. However, there was only one person small enough to make it as far
Someone can do
as
that
the
again.
turnaround room. This was a
VODs are
17-year-old
life-saving.
Jewel Estes.
Joel
He
Estes.
refused to go into the squeeze, but it was close enough to call Colin's name. Floyd! And Collins yelled back.
Okay.
Estes emerges from the cave.
Okay, we know he's trapped, and we know where he is.
So, locals started to gather outside. Out of my way. Say a bunch of men who would each show up and take turns heading into the cave in an attempt to reach Collins.
Okay.
But once they reached the turnaround room,
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
they would fail to reach him.
Of
Emerging
course.
from the cave, soaked in mud and cursing. Out of my way, they would say as they were heading in the reverse direction.
In the reverse
So a few more
direction.
hours passed. Word would spread around town. Dozens of
Floyd,
locals
a cave?
from
Floyd, a
City
cave?
started to gather outside.
Oh my god, Floyd, cave.
Over in
Floyd,
Louisville,
cave.
Floyd's 22-year-old brother, Homer, he gets a phone call.
Hello? I see. My brother. He's trapped in a cave? I'm on my way.
Homer jumps on a coach and makes his way to Floyd's cave. Homer struts up to the scene. Dozens of men are standing around outside. He ignores them all and
When you're too big for the hole. Like a fucking school kid. That was funny.
marches right into the cabin,
Good
still
job.
wearing his city clothes.
Oh,
He makes
boy.
his way in, down the chute, through the narrowing.
Just very casual. Yeah, that was a very casual conversation. Be like, yes, my brother is stuck in a cave. Must be another Tuesday. Time to save him again. No, I will not come on.
Passages, down on his hands and knees towards the turnaround room.
Towards
And when he
turnaround.
arrives, he does not hesitate. He squeezes into the hole,
Oh.
scrambles his way through to the ledge on the other side. He sees Floyd below and slides down to meet him.
Floyd!
Floyd!
Right, probably wasn't that casual.
Oh, thank God you're here.
Homer took a moment to shine his light around the area and assess the situation. It's not good.
Wah, thank you for following. Thank you. Welcome to the Believers. Is that how you say your name? Like, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. I've heard it be like bird, wah, or oi. I know it's French of some type, but I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. Wazo? Wazo. Wazo. It's French for bird. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Alright. It's not that casual. Yeah. I like it when that third wall break happens and it's like, It's not that casual. You can call me Oi. Now I'll call you by the actual name. Alright, Wazo, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Believers.
This rock formation is going to prove almost impossible to work around. Alright, so let's have a look.
What do we have
Floyd is
here?
The rock is here, pinning his ankle. He's surrounded by rubble, and there's a pocket of gravel above him ready to fall.
Okay.
However, because this opening is so small, there are only two viable ways of reaching Floyd and that gravel. Option 1, the most obvious, feet first. But if you do this, you have to kind of squat, and your own torso obstructs access to the rubble.
Yeah, because
Otherwise, option 2, come down head first. That will give you better access, but you're trying to move hundreds of pounds of gravel upside down.
My question for this is, I mean, eventually, I think they eventually have to go and mine for him or something, like, you know, move rocks around. Why don't you just grab mining equipment and mine away at the parts that are obstructing you? I know that's not like very realistic, but like at least make the gap towards him wider. The only option, the only problem with TNT, I would imagine, is you might end up causing a cave collapse and crushing Floyd, because there's already like a fuck ton of rocks above him. There's already a fuck ton of rocks on him. X was the mining solution at that time, though. That's true. It might have taken a while, and especially with that the fucking turnaround room. But my thing is like, why don't you make the turnaround room hole bigger to have easier access to it, and then make the tunnel to Floyd bigger? You know, like why don't you do that? That was my question. I'm just like, this feels very overly complicated, and I don't know how to feel about it, because it just does not feel like it was well thought out on their end. I know there's not a lot that they can do. Their first thought is, oh, let's make sure he gets out fine and as fast as possible, but there had to be like chisel it or something, you know, like make the hole bigger. So then you have much easier access to the rock that is crushing him right now. And, you know, like this, like, why would you go headfirst into this? There had to be another solution. And I know that was a very tricky situation. And, well, I think we later learn that the tourists did not help the situation, like, at all. In fact, they hindered it. But initially, like, they could have just told people, hey, back off. We need to make sure the cave doesn't collapse or something. Because this is, like, February, and, you know, there's ice melt still. Yeah, he hasn't eaten yet. And so if you're able to have better like, if you have more people able to get to him and deliver food to him anyway while you're chiseling at the rock to get to him, that would also work. Like, and this whole situation seems like it could have been avoided if they thought about it for a bit longer. You know, like make sure he's still hydrated, make sure he's still warmed up, because that water is at like 54 degrees, and that it's too cold for a human body, like constantly. And you'll die of exposure at some point without enough heat. I don't know.
Worse yet,
Those are my
barely an
thoughts.
inch around Collins on either side, so good luck getting your arm down near Floyd's ankle to actually free him from the wedged rock. Homer calls back to the less daring rescuers standing behind him.
Quickly, some food.
Yeah, a cave-in would definitely be a worry if you have too many people in there with enough body heat, but if you're able to shore up the walls and make sure like the cave structure is not as fragile as it is, like support the cave as much as possible. Yeah, like I said earlier, you weren't here for that fray, but No. I would never do this. There's no amount of money that you can pay me to do this.
They send it through. He hand feeds his brother a pint of coffee and a total
Hi,
of
Draco.
9
Hello,
sausage
hello.
sandwiches.
Feeling better?
Much better.
Then, Homer went to task. He began removing rocks and gravel, tiny scoop at a time,
He brings
with the
something
help
is killed.
of an
It is.
old syrup can.
That's the fucking syrup can? Damn.
For the next 8 hours he toiled, first with hands,
8
then,
hours
once enough
down
was
there.
cleared, using a crowbar to scoop behind his brother, scraping away sharp protrusions as he went. It was slow progress. Virtually futile. As soon as he removed one rock or scoop of gravel, another
Yeah, that's another
tumbled
issue.
from above.
That is a... You just gotta stop seeing holes in Earth and thinking, I'm gonna go there. I mean, just curiosity, you know? Human curiosity will never be quelled. And, you know, curiosity is important. But yeah, that's another thing I forgot about is the fact that there's a lot of fucking gravel there and it will constantly replenish itself. Which would be countered if there was enough room to get to Colin, like Floyd, and clear away at the gravel surrounding him. That's my
and
opinion.
land in the new absence. And it was exhausting work. By sunrise, Homer's arms and back were knackered. His lungs burned. He was losing hope. Homer emerged hours later, shivering violently, skin bruised from his fingertips, but the cave barely yielded at all. However, something new. By the time Homer reached outside, he was greeted by a sea of approximately 100 men and women standing around, drinking, squabbling, and talking big game about how they too were going to save Floyd. The press was also present to help people gawk from afar. Now, Homer recuperated at a small tent near the cave's mouth. Strangers immediately crowded around him to ask innocent but, frankly, frustrating questions, and offer
I need to replenish my
unsolicited,
water soon.
obvious advice, as well as wildly impractical solutions. He should try untying his shoes, said one.
What?
No, we should send him down with a contortionist who's got a mallet and a chisel. We should jerk him off, right, guys? All right, I made that.
Yeah.
You get the idea. And they started to argue with each other about their plans. Hey, how about using dynamite?
Floyd himself had used dynamite weeks prior to clear out passages in the cave. So he's already used dynamite on the cave. Which, okay, makes sense. Only issue is that's threatening the cave stability if you don't have wood to shore up the walls. So, fuck, that's not...
One clique formed, insisting that it was a great idea.
No, it's not
And
a good
another
idea.
saying, no, the explosion will kill him, and the weight of the new rocks will surely crush him.
Yeah, that's my
For a
issue.
while until they started arguing about gas.
Maybe. I mean, that's true, but would you, like, you do realize that he's been peeing and defecating himself for the past 47 hours, right? Like, that's what he's been doing for the past 47 hours. I would not like to be around that area, quite frankly. But you are more than welcome to. I implore you to do it. Have fun with that.
Torches, which will cook him or asphyxiate him, or the gas will poison him. But by far the most common suggestion, of course, was amputation.
Right,
Never
amputation.
mind that the foot itself was unreachable, and never mind what...
Well, then you're thinking about, like, the foot, right? You're thinking about cutting off the foot. If you can't reach the foot, then the next option would be, like, the knee, like cutting up to the knee. If that's not accessible, then you would have to... Was Tim's... The solution was Tim's... Amputate the head. Yeah, exactly. And just cut off the head. Boom. Done. It's all over. But you would have to amputate the leg. Is the most severe option. Like cutting up to the upper thigh would be my guess. But the only issue, first off, is reaching it. Second off is the shock of, your leg being cut off, because this is before modern technology. And I don't think like for amputees, I think we were still using bone saws during this time. And that's not fun. Feeling a bone saw really go through your fucking bones while you're awake, and feeling it and feeling the blood just start to ooze the fuck out. And he's trapped in the cave anyway. You have so much bullshit to go through to even get him out. And like, even if they were able to clear all the rocks, or enough rocks for him to get amputated and free, the issue is that squeeze. It's that squeeze that most people can't go through. That 9-inch hole. And just, that's the other issue. It's like, how do you fucking push him through that? I mean, maybe you can have what's that called? What would you even call that? Medical personnel in the hole already, or people to help stop the bleeding. But he's missing a leg, and you need both legs to get through that gap. So, yeah, there's a lot. Like, this is like the most impossible situation to get him out of.
What the blood loss and shock would do to Floyd's weakened body, and never minding even more that Floyd was strongly reluctant to the idea.
Whatever you do,
Don't cut my foot off!
All of the squabble would not have gotten on Homer's nerves, except that not one of them would just brave the damn cave and continue shoveling away the gravel. The formula was always the same.
Always the same.
Brave heroes go in with food and supplies, then reach the turnaround room and immediately lose their nerve, then dump the food just outside the hole, and then return back outside and go, oh, absolutely. No, he says, thanks for the
What
food.
the fuck,
Thank you so
man?
much. Yum, yum. No one would go through that
Fucking
squeeze.
dumbasses.
Dozens more.
Well, no, I'm, to your DM so you can react later. Sure, go ahead. Send the video. No, Frey, he hasn't lost a leg yet. But I'm saying if, like, extreme amputation to get him out would be to cut off his leg. That would be, a solution. Like a last-minute solution.
More men would try. All
Sad,
of them
though. Yeah.
would fail.
It would be a last-minute solution. Like, if you've run out of every option you can. I don't know. He saw potential, and you know how humans are. But this is of the what we hole. Well, there's a cave. There's a. Where the hell is the squeeze? Here it is. 1492.
Through this, the squeeze, a gap in the stone of only 9 inches.
Yeah. This is like even if he was freed and amputated, this is a what if he was amputated. How the fuck are you going to be able to get him through that with a missing foot, or at worst case scenario, missing leg? 1942.
Yum. No one would go
There
through
we go.
that squeeze.
Close enough.
Dozens more men would try. All of them would fail. February 2nd, 9 a.m. So far, Homer has been the only person to have reached Floyd. And that would continue to be true until... Here we are at the Louisville Courier. There's a spirited young newshawk named William Miller.
yeah, my love. It's like seeing meat in the abyss in the middle of the road and maybe some water on the end. Why must you be such a dummy? In all fairness, this was back in the 1920s. So people weren't, they were smart, but they aren't as smart as us. Oh, yeah, it's snowing right now in my area. So, that's exciting. I love snow. I don't make this fact a secret, but I love snow. I love it. I love
He's
it.
talking to his boss, and he's trying to convince him that it's a great idea for him to cover the story of the man trapped in the cave.
Listen up, boss. I'm hearing talk of a man in a cave. He's stuck down there, and I want to get down there too. Get to the nitty-gritty, you hear?
This is an opportunity for some good PR, Miller. I'm in, but I want us to sponsor that rescue. Picture this. Man saved from cave by Louisville Courier, the finest newspaper in the state. That'll drum up plenty of business.
24-carat idea, boss. I'll make it happen. I'll get down there toot sweet.
So off Miller goes to Floyd's cave.
Bum, bum, bum.
Back over at the cave, Homer is sitting
Excuse me?
outside trying to recuperate, as Miller wanders up.
Oh, you don't get snow? Food. Alright, no worries. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your food. I hope you enjoy your pizza and your Pepsi. But you don't get snow free? It's actually kind of pretty, especially at night. Like snow at night is really beautiful.
He glares at the man in his city clothes and answers every question with either a grunt or a one-word answer.
Yeah. Sure.
Finally, he gestures to Sand Cave.
Listen, you want more information?
Yeah,
Don't
that's
waste your
kind of
time.
funny,
Why
isn't
don't you
it?
go take a look yourself?
Now, Miller is only 21, but he is a
Hey,
slender and
21.
determined man. He takes on the challenge. So he removes his suit.
Oh, you live in Brazil? Ah, okay. Yeah, snow is very beautiful. That is a good bucket list thing. I'm trying to think of good places near the southern poles that get good snow. It might be, or it's just maybe you got in fog and you forgot about it. That's another possibility.
Drapes himself in coveralls and grabs a lamp.
Coveralls,
Miller
huh?
slowly enters the cave. He finds himself stepping in puddles and having to correct his balance against the ever-softening walls. These were
I forgot. Oh, you live in Canada. What? I want to be there. I want snow all the time, please. It never fogs. No, that's weird. Yeah, keep a radio on. Just trying to think. Yeah, so the big issue here with the puddles is that there's people. There's a lot of heat coming inside into the cave, and it's making the cave even more unstable. I think he explains that,
problems
actually.
thanks to the Gawkers outside who had lit campfires all around the entrance.
That's a yawn.
Snowmelt, and the stable environment of the cave is starting to shift.
Of course it
But
is.
Miller makes it further than most. And all that's left is that final squeeze, and he's there. He stops. He takes a moment and decides to call out to Floyd.
Floyd!
Hearing there is someone on the other side, he feels ashamed not to try.
Hey.
So he closes his eyes and moves forward. His slender figure begins inching through. The crystal gypsum cuts into his elbows and tugs at his clothes. He gets snagged. He's spluttering through the pools of muddy water.
No.
Stops, collects himself, and pushes on.
No.
He can barely inhale.
No.
If he gets stuck in here, he can only hope that someone else can come in from behind and pull him out by the legs. But eventually, he makes it through.
Oh, thank God.
Fantastic. He's now standing on the edge of a 10-foot pit, and he clumsily bumbles his way.
It's a 10-foot pet. I forgot about that.
He sat right next to Floyd, ready to interview him. But Floyd didn't really answer any of his questions. In fact, he was incoherent. At the moment, he is sitting in a pool of water that is 12 degrees, slowly sapping his body temperature.
Celsius.
He is dying from exposure. The cold is diminishing Floyd's mental faculties, and he can barely make sentences. So Miller took a few mental notes, and he left. He worked his way back through the squeeze, past the turnaround room, and out into the daylight. He is covered in mud and scratches and numb head to toe. And when Homer saw, his hope reignited. Someone else had made it to Floyd.
You and me. Together, we can get Floyd out of there.
Yeah, it's a slow hypothermia too, so you're just
If
feeling
Miller
it.
hadn't gone to that cave, there's a good chance that Floyd's story would have remained an obscure footnote in the back pages. But the interviews and first-person accounts gave the audience a glimpse of something real. Fear, hope, desperation, the full range. And so, from Los Angeles to New York, Floyd's story was picked up everywhere and described.
1925 is what time it is. Thank you, Ellie. Hello, hello. How are you today? Hope you're doing well today. I'm doing wonderful.
The Kentucky man's plight in sensational detail. It was also the
Sensational
era
detail.
when radio became a regular feature for regular Americans.
Oh,
Radio allowed something new. Hourly updates. Letting people get engrossed into the story. So, mostly thanks to Miller, the story of Floyd over the next week would grow and grow.
and grow and grow.
Seemingly frothing over into every aspect of American life. The press at large would be clamoring
shit.
over each other for every little extra scrap of detail they could get about Floyd.
Have fun with
And
that.
everybody wanted to know, will this man make it?
That's a good question. Will he make it? Jack, will he make it? Will Floyd make it out of this?
Back outside the cave, someone new enters the scene. Lieutenant Robert Burden, a thin but strong 33-year-old Louisville firefighter. Like Miller, he was able to navigate the passages of the cave and brave the squeeze. Scratched up pretty good and drenched in cold, muddy water, he managed to get through. He grabbed the rope and confidently lowered himself to Floyd's position. It was not an optimistic sight.
All right, we have one person who thinks he'll make it. We are at 24 minutes out of 1 hour and 9 minutes of this video. So we have
Floyd's
a lot.
condition was deteriorating.
Bless you,
Well,
Frey.
we've got a heck of a problem here, but I think I can get you out with a rope.
Floyd nods in approval.
Go on.
We might just pull your bloody leg off.
Just pull my leg off then. Get me out of here.
Burden returned to the surface and faced the crowd. He announced.
We will attempt a rope pull.
The crowd murmured. It was dangerous. It would certainly break his foot and could altogether pull it off. If there are jagged rocks, you'll fillet the poor man. Amongst the crowd, a doctor stepped forward. A rope pull could stretch his internal organs and cause them to rupture. You'll kill him. But Floyd is dying of exposure down there. The situation is becoming desperate. Burden put caution to the side.
The time for strategy is over. Now we try brute force.
I don't think this is going to work. Quite honestly. Yeah, I mean, this was back in 1925, so he's either really old or he's dead already. Oh, there's an ad break. Ad break. There's an ad break. My personal... Yeah, maybe. There's a possibility he's still alive today. We shall see. Excuse me. I'm waiting for this ad break to end. And then we'll continue. Because, ad breaks And breaks are funny, right? Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back from your little ad break. I have waited for you. Pop.
Floyd! Floyd! We're here. We're gonna get you out of here.
After 79 hours in the cold water, he is delirious, fading in and out of consciousness.
Not
Homer gave
surprising.
his brother some coffee and fed him a couple of ham sandwiches. That warms him up and gives him a bit more energy, and he comes back to lucidity.
Oh, much better.
I'm gonna put the special harness around you. Burden and Miller, they're here too. We got 3 more boys right up the cave, and they're all ready to pull as hard as they can to get you out of here.
Floyd was frightened.
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna
He gave
hurt.
his brother some whiskey and a strong sedative to calm his nerves, and also to help him withstand the shock in case his foot is
So
destroyed.
they had sedatives back in this
Floyd
day.
took the
Okay.
opportunity to appreciate being surrounded by friends and family.
Go on. Do it.
All right, strap him up.
Strap him
Homer tied
up.
the harness around Colin's chest and knotted the rope.
Ready?
Above, Miller is crouched at the top of the pit.
Ready?
Burden clenches the cord from further up the cave. The rope
Excuse me.
goes taut.
2,
Do it.
1.
Oh!
Instinctively, Floyd gasps. The force of 6 men pulled against the clutches of the cave. Floyd began to scream. His body was being pulled up from the rubble. The gravel was beginning to shift. Burden clenched his teeth.
Oh, harder!
Floyd screamed harder as well. Now, Floyd was trapped in a supine position, but the direction of the rope caused an upwards force that wrenched him vertically. His torso was being compressed and bent against the ceiling of the trap. It would kill him. Floyd, screaming intensely,
Oh shit.
and through gasps was begging them to stop. The screams filled the echoing cave.
Sent you a message.
All right. Now food. Hi,
But it did not
Keisha.
stop.
How are you
The
today?
agony continued. On and on.
I've been given
No
food.
progress.
enough! Enough! You guys are killing him!
Homer pulled in the
said
opposite
stop.
direction to give his brother some reprieve. Somehow, Homer mustered the strength to altogether wrench the cord from the other man.
Thank you.
The rope
Have a good read.
Homer, Floyd, and the rope
Chicken
lay limp
fried
on the cave
rice.
floor, panting and exhausted. No progress had been made. The cave would not let this man go. The futility of the situation sank in, and all they could do was leave for now and reassess. Everybody was shaken by the experience. Burden fainted as he crawled towards the exit. Most of the other men had to be carried away. Outside, the crowd had grown to 200. They buzzed and asked useless questions, and Homer walked dejectedly past them. He sat by thinking what he could do. The cause seemed hopeless.
Homer?
Then, someone showed up who could turn things around. He looked up to see a childhood friend of both his and Floyd's, Johnny Gerald. Gerald knew more about cave rescues than most. In fact, just that summer prior, he had helped untangle Floyd from a different snag. He was just the man for the job.
All right, let me go see him. Well, look who it is.
Floyd perked up immediately,
Yay.
thrilled to see Gerald.
All right, let's see what we can do.
Gerald jumped down. For the next 3 hours, Gerald went back to the original plan of prying away rocks. His stamina was good, and progress was surprisingly good as well. For several more hours,
This is
he
really good
continued,
food. Oh yeah.
moving stone after stone. New one would fall in its place, and he'd move that one too. By midnight, he had enough room to shift position and clear some of the gravel that was at each side of Floyd's body. Gerald would spend several more hours scooping. And it worked. For the first time, Floyd's torso was now available. Then his hips, his upper thigh. For the first time in over 90 hours, Floyd was able to wiggle his arms, his hips, and even that trapped right leg, though it was very painful.
Gerald coming in
that one
clutch.
session, Gerald managed to move a half-ton of rock.
Holy shit. Holy fuck. That's a lot of rock. Holy hell.
But there was still a lot more to go, and that rock by his foot was still holding him in place. By 2 a.m., Gerald was spent. He needed rest, and he was ready to head back outside.
Floyd, tomorrow you're gonna be a free man.
Now here you might think,
That's a lot of rock, and also 75 hours down there. That's no fun.
that things will become straightforward. They did not. Now that that space had been cleared, Burden became convinced that if he could get down that passage again, he could free Floyd with another rope pull, fate deciding with both feet or just one. But when Burden tried to enter the cave again, he was sternly rebuffed by the locals. They were playing gatekeeper. They had been specifically instructed to
so
not
good.
let anyone,
Oh, this is
and they
wonderful.
were especially opposed to Burden making another rope pull after word spread about the disaster of the first attempt. He tried to reason with them.
Let me try the rope pull again. It'll work this time.
They wouldn't.
Will it?
Instead, they shouted obscenities and shoved him in the other direction. Meanwhile, Gerald and Homer are incapacitated with exhaustion, and Miller was busy filing some paperwork for the Louisville Courier. Nobody else had the ability or the authority to take action, so Floyd spent all of that morning alone.
Hello? Is
Damn.
anyone there?
Alone.
Help? Hey,
That's crazy.
anyone out there?
100 hours, baby.
Word spread about Floyd. Miller's reporting had been picked up by the AP Newswire, and they distributed it amongst their hundreds of partnered newspapers. For Miller, it would be the biggest moment of his career. But he didn't stop to pay it mind. He spent the day hatching a rescue plan. Miller descended into the cave and set to work.
Imagine that. Imagine. Biggest moment of your career. It's right there on your doorstep. It is right there in front of you. And you decide, no, saving this man is more important right now. What a Chad.
When he entered, he found that the team before him had strung light bulbs all through the cavern, leading all the way down to Floyd. Very handy. A bulb was also put around Floyd's neck to keep him warm and make sure that he was never again left in the dark. Miller popped down to Floyd.
Ah, Floyd, fancy seeing you here, buddy.
Reusing that syrup tin, he started offloading gravel into buckets. Those buckets were then passed up and down the cavern. And so it went on for the next 2 hours. Miller stopped for a break. He took some bread, milk, and whiskey, and sharing it with Floyd, they started to get to talking. Floyd had been in that cave for over 100 hours now. And
There's a
seeing
lot of whiskey
everyone
going
working
around.
together, Floyd was overcome with a sense of hope and relief.
Set my bet on cable was bragging, but I won't get to stay. I gotta go to bed. Alright, good night, Frey. Rest well. I hope you have a wonderful sleep. I hope your day tomorrow goes well. Night-night. You're gonna set your bet on he survives the cave.
And so he began spilling his heart out to Miller. Here is what he is quoted in the newspaper.
I believed I would go to heaven. I can feel that I'm to be taken out alive and with both my feet. I kept thinking, what would happen if the rock above me would fall? It caused me to shudder. I kept thinking to drive my mind to something else, but it wasn't much use. I couldn't do much to help those who came to help me, but I knew that a lot of people were willing to do all in their power. It gave me courage. Tuesday morning, I thought to myself, 4 days down here, and no nearer freedom than I was on the first day. How will it end? Will I get out? I couldn't think of it. I have faced death before. It doesn't frighten me, but it is so long. Tell them I am not going to give up. Tell them I'm going to fight and be patient and never forget them.
That's sweet. That's a sweet message.
Meanwhile, Floyd's story kept growing. Pedestrians would gather around corner store windows to read the latest bulletins. The press began using giant typefaces, commonly only reserved for declarations of war.
Oh my
Churches
God.
in all of the nearby counties were holding services for Floyd. Theaters even interrupted their shows to update the audience. Now, at the time, President Coolidge was in charge, and his Secretary of Commerce was a geologist, Herbert Hoover. Now, Mr. Hoover followed the story very closely, and so it was likely that the president did too. Even Congress paused session to ask about the latest news from Sand Cave. By the end, the Floyd Collins incident would explode into the third largest non-political story.
God damn. Sorry, I don't like talking with food in my mouth. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine, and I try not to subject everyone to it. But wow. That's incredible. The third largest. Number one was the Lindenberg flight. The fuck is the second one? It's on the bottom. Well, I don't want to subject myself to it. I try to be as polite as possible. But it says here at the bottom here, number one is the Lindenberg flight, and number two, the Lindenberg baby kidnapping. What the fuck is that?
Between World War I and World War II. All of this excitement brought an inundation of people to Cave City. Old population, 690. Yawn. New population,
Holy shit.
10,000. Hotels ran out of food. Residents turned their homes into makeshift hotels, charging sizable premiums to let people nap in their bathtubs. The banks quickly ran out of on-hand cash, and 4,500 automobiles impatiently sat backed up for 2 miles from 20 different states to drive onto the Collins farm and turn their pristine green pastures into swampy parking lots.
God damn.
Deep below all those tourists, there's Miller.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. I will be right back. I'm going to get more food. This is really good. So I will be right back. If stream crashes while I'm gone, I apologize. But I will be back. Ba-ba-da. I forgot to unmute myself. Hello, I'm back. Oh, no worries, Draco. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Hope you feel better soon.
Trying to free Floyd. Alright, a little bit of setup. Floyd, Miller, some remaining rubble, rock. For anyone to lift the rock by hand would be impossible because Floyd's body obstructs the hole. Miller grabs a crowbar and shoves it through the gap. Now he's going to lever it off Floyd's foot. Cool. The crowbar is now wedged against the rock. Next, he takes a jack. He positions it on top of the crowbar so that it will be forced against the ceiling. However, problem. That jack is too big. It doesn't fit. Miller yells up the tunnel for a smaller one, but this took some time. And when it arrived, too small, won't reach the ceiling. But instead of sending for another one, Miller takes 2 blocks of wood and bolsters them underneath the crowbar. Right, so the crowbar now sits higher, it fulcrums against the blocks, and the jack is sitting on top. All Miller has to do is expand the jack, which he will do using this spanner, holding it at the very tips of his fingers. Sounds easy. It's not. But that's the plan. Let's get him out of there. He turned the wrench. The jack expanded, and the crowbar took strain.
Oh my.
The whole thing slid apart with a pang. Floyd wasn't hurt, but Miller was contorting and exerting his whole body from back to fingertip. They tried again. Same result. Miller tried a new angle. Maybe this time. The jack pressed. The tension increased. And this time, the rock moved. It fucking moved. With each turn, the stone shifted a little more.
It moved.
Miller's hands shook with adrenaline, his face and body dripping with sweat. Pang. One of the blocks slipped, and the wooden tower went sideways. The rock painfully slammed back down on Colin's foot.
You'll get it next time, Miller. Try again.
Miller did. Again. And again. Adding blocks, taking them away,
that's not fun.
New crowbar position, change the jack position, every angle, all while Floyd was there, cheering him on.
Yay!
For the next 4 hours he tried. No progress. Miller was exhausted. He couldn't do this on his own, but he was the only one slim enough to get in through the gap. The group decided to concede for now and return to the surface. They would take just a small break, but it looked to everyone like there was a clear way to get this man out. So Miller and Burden crawled back through the mud and the wines of the cave. As they made their way through, the cave was visibly sagging. The ceiling seemed lower. Parts were harder to navigate than before, especially now with their bruised and purple hands. But they made it outside to the fresh, early morning air. And here is where they're greeted with a new sight. Dozens of soldiers. The National Guard had arrived.
Stupid ads. You make me look bad. Have to wait for the ad to end. That was a minute ad. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Just waiting for the ad to be over. Ow. This food is so fucking good. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the ad.
In addition to the National Guard, a new figure was joining the story. Henry Carmichael. Now, Carmichael was the general superintendent of the Kentucky Rock Asphalt Company. He had been on site since Tuesday, and he was appalled at how primitive the rescue attempts had been. Shortly after Miller and co. had exited, Carmichael sent 2 men into Sand Cave to assess the structure's stability. They soon came back with a report. It was not good. Near the final squeeze, large cracks had formed. The ceiling was beginning to droop. Alright, so the following is a recounting of events from one of Carmichael's men, Casey Jones.
Casey Jones, huh?
Casey and another worker spent about an hour in the cave, surveying its condition, looking at the boards, the ceiling, the stability of the walls. He continued deeper towards Floyd. He was fighting against his nerves. The shifting of the rock pinged his every instinct to flee. But he heard Collins moaning ahead, so he pushed himself on. He managed to make it through the squeeze and he arrived at the 10-foot pit. Seeing Floyd trapped, he tried to ignore the pebbles that were tumbling behind him.
Please, come down.
I can't right now, Floyd, but I will when I get back.
Behind Casey, his partner is begging to leave. Below Casey,
no.
Collins is pleading for help.
Oh no.
Please, I'm so thirsty.
Oh no. Oh no.
Casey slid headfirst into the pit and hastily ladled Floyd some coffee. But Floyd rejected it. Rumbling intensified from above. And in that moment, Casey realized that this was not a plea for sustenance. Floyd knew that a cave-in was inevitable. Scared and approaching his 5th day trapped, he was completely at his wit's end. He knew he was about to be trapped in that cave, and he didn't want to be trapped alone.
No.
For God's sake, Casey, come on, you'll get us killed.
Stay with me, please. Don't leave.
Casey looked into Colin's eyes, set the coffee down, and pulled himself out of the pit. He wiggled underneath the sagging ceiling and crawled towards the turnaround room as fast as his limbs could scramble against the cave walls. He looked back to see the passage closing like a maw.
No!
Reflections from the bulb shining around Floyd's neck were no longer visible. Instead, just sobs could be heard, muffled from behind the rocks.
Oh, that's terrifying. Oh, I fucking hate that. I hate that.
Miller and Burden awoke in the late morning, confident that today would be the day that they saved Floyd. They had some new equipment too. Some wire to wrap around the wooden blocks to prevent them from slipping. And they changed their mind about that acetylene torch. They'll use it to burn away 2 rocks that had previously blocked their way. But when Miller got to the turnaround room...
No one told him? No one told him.
That optimism...
There's still a lot of film left, so...
Out of my way, they would say as they were heading in. Equipment too. Some wire to wrap around the wooden blocks.
But yeah, no, we still have a long way in this video to
Prevent
go.
them from slipping. And they changed their mind about that acetylene torch. They'll use it to burn away 2 rocks that had previously blocked their way. But when Miller got to the turnaround room, all of that optimism left him.
My issue is that no one told them.
The entrance to the squeeze was now just a pile of debris. Miller froze, staring at it for a long while. Then he sighed and did the only thing he could think, attempt to move some of the stones. But each adjustment led to more rocks just tumbling down and landing in that space. He persisted until... crash. A large chunk of clay landed onto his feet.
Oh shit!
Recognizing the danger, Miller returned to the surface. 15 minutes later, he emerged from the cave with a bloodied up nose and bruises down his back and shoulders. Burden caught sight and races over to him. Miller just says, "For God's sake, just don't let Homer or anyone else back in there."
Oof,
now, he didn't actually need to worry about Homer going back in there because he was sidelined with illness. But he did, however, need to worry
about Gerald.
Because he was furious.
Oh, Gerald is mad. Angry Gerald incoming.
Gerald had warned everyone that putting dozens of people in Sand Cave would cause a collapse. It certainly did. The rest of that day would be wasted, as men threw blame around and screamed at each other about how to handle the cave-in. And Floyd spent the rest of that day alone.
Oh, I would hate that so much. I fucking hate this.
The surveyors continued checking the cave throughout the day. By the evening, Carmichael had ordered everyone to an assembly. Gerald took the floor.
I
He
moved
was
the
going to
mic
try
a bit more.
one last daring rescue. He boldly announced his plan and an ultimatum.
Listen up. There's death down there. The walls and ceilings are crumbling. Unless you're determined to take the biggest chance you ever took in your life, Tell me now, and stay outside.
Next, they told all the Gawkers to get the fuck out of the cave, clear off. And over the next 8 hours, Gerald would enter and leave Sand Cave at least 5 times, chipping away at that pile of debris.
Gerald, the
In the
fucking
woods,
Chad.
men sawed trees and chopped logs to shore up the cave walls.
It took far too long for this to happen. The shoring up of the cave walls, like this shouldn't have taken that long.
Underground, the crew reinforced cracks and wobbling boulders with fresh strips of wood. Gerald assessed that about 4 barrels of rocks would need to be moved, and piece by piece, they made that happen. Steadily, they managed to move enough rock to allow Gerald to get within earshot of Floyd.
Hello? I need food.
Bad news. We can't reach you. But hold on. We're coming.
Again, the
Stone by
fucking
stone,
Chad.
they continued. After a few hours, the light of the bulb around Floyd's neck was peeking through. A couple more hours, enough room for Gerald.
Yeah, the pressure would be far too much for me, quite honestly. I don't know if I would be able to manage it.
To squeeze through.
Okay, that's enough.
Floyd.
I'm going for now. But when I get back, I'm gonna get you out of there.
Exhausted but still determined, Gerald crawled back up the cave and marched to the men huddling outside.
Gather the equipment, and in an hour's time, it's gonna be me and Floyd coming out of that cave.
The ultimatum. But will it matter?
Gerald
That's the
entered
question.
Sand Cave for his final time. The walls had been reinforced, but mud and water was accumulating everywhere. He waded through it and pressed on past the danger of the sagging ceiling. With determination on his face and a grease gun clutched in his right hand, he scrambled towards Floyd. But before the final squeeze, he stopped. It was all gone. The cave ceiling had crumbled once again. Gerald stared motionlessly at the pile. Then he began to yell.
Floyd!
A rock disconnected from the ceiling and tumbled onto Gerald's head.
Oh shit.
Luckily, just a small one. He rubbed his scalp and called out again.
Floyd!
This time, a moan. It rumbled from the other side. Fearing that his friend was slipping out of consciousness, Gerald willed himself against the cave, launching the debris behind him with force. He ignored the pain from being struck on the head and clawed at the stone pile. He carried on this way for several minutes, until a sharp, heavy rock dropped from the ceiling and landed squarely on his back. No more than 15 minutes later, Gerald returned to the surface, defeated.
That's fucking sad. Oh man, they were so close. If only the Gawkers weren't there. Like I said, they caused more problems. They caused more problems than they helped, you know? There was no reason for them to be there, but, you know, there they were.
Only after the cave-ins did they start to think about all of the things that they could have done.
Wait, why didn't we rig a portable telephone line? That would have been incredibly simple here in 1925.
Yeah, why have we been running in and out to deliver updates?
Why didn't we give him an AM radio? He could have had something to listen to and receive messages of support from the public.
That's not helping.
Wait, why don't we rig up a tarpaulin so we could lift his torso up so he wouldn't be slowly dying of exposure?
That's a good question. Why didn't you do that? Like, I know it wouldn't be much, but if you're able to get his torso up at least, that would have helped him survive longer, you know?
Oh god, why didn't we run a feeding tube? That's also a technology we have in 1925.
All too late. Now what? The one route to get to Floyd is closed forever.
Jesus.
That meant 2 options. Number 1, capitulation. Surrender him to the cave. Or number 2,
Hi, Axel.
dig down
How
from
are you
directly
today?
above Floyd. Now, the prospect of digging from above seemed almost fanciful. At least, it did in the beginning. But luckily, they had some help. Owing to Miller's reporting, Floyd had become practically the most famous person in the country.
I'm doing well today.
Rescue had become a high priority
I'm enjoying
for
my
the
time here
governor
on
of
stream.
Kentucky, Lieutenant General Denhart.
Okay, I gotta read what this says. Hold on. I'm gonna read this out loud for everyone. He'll go on to murder his girlfriend, Verna Taylor. He's brought to trial, but results in a hung jury. Before his retrial, Verna's brother tracked him down and shot him to death. They were all acquitted. The fuck?
Enters the scene. He's been updated on the situation, and following shortly
I don't know.
behind
Why
him
don't we
is
nuke the
a
cave?
small army of miners and engineers. He declared to the despondent crowd, "Gentlemen,
Oh yeah, nukes weren't invented yet in 1925. That's right. They were not there yet, so you can't even nuke it.
I am here on behalf of the governor. The purse strings of Kentucky are open. Take this blank check and bring that man out alive." Floyd, in that cold, wet confine, could not have imagined the scale of the operation that was going on 55 feet above him.
55 feet below
Authorities
ground.
assumed control of Colin's rescue. Denhart gave Henry Carmichael the lead to dig, and Carmichael raced to get to work. He enlisted his employees, his fleet of expensive high-tech machinery. Professional groups were brought in from all across the state. Local townspeople
Same,
were mostly
blank checks from the
excluded,
government's
and
always
for the
really
first
nice, you
time
know?
since Collins
It's
had
just
been
really
trapped,
good.
work was now about to go ahead in a systematic manner. Everyone knew the plan, everyone had something to do, and everyone was working fast. But just as hopes were rising, they were once again dashed against the rocks. They had all of this state-of-the-art machinery shipped in and assembled by the engineers and rearing to go, and it was all worthless. See, the problem is, the cave drew air into it.
Oh, shit.
These diesel-powered engines pumped out enormous volumes of choking exhaust. Within a day's operation, the cave would be filled with carbon monoxide, and Floyd would be dead from asphyxiation.
Oh.
Just as quickly as solutions would arise.
So that's another problem I didn't even think about. Yeah, if the cave sucks in air, then... Uh-oh.
The cave would parry them away. It refused to let this man go. So engineers and miners had wasted hours assembling everything, only to realize that they had to pack it all up and cart it away. Because the digging of a 55-foot shaft would be done with picks and shovels.
Tink, 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 tink.
Carmichael didn't know much about caves, but he knew a lot about quarrying. And he estimated that his team of 75 volunteers could dig and dredge at a rate of 2 feet per hour. If they worked around the clock, they would be digging directly into the spot where Floyd lays within 30 hours. Now, was it possible?
30 hours, huh? That's the deadline? That's going to be very difficult to hit.
That Floyd could survive for another 30 hours? Absolutely. Let's go. The first ton was moved, and at first, it was easy work. Just dirt and clay. Carmichael understood well that this was a race against time, so he watched the men closely, and if they seemed to be slowing down, even a little, they would be yanked out, and immediately a new worker subbed in. Nonetheless, the pace slowed. By 10 feet, the shaft narrowed greatly, which meant that only 2 men could work at a time. At 15 feet, they hit boulders. Pickaxes went in, and a system of pulleys and buckets had to be used to cart the rock out. Tracks were even laid to ferry the refuse to a dump site.
Bumblebee.
Time passed.
There's a Bumblebee song? There should be a Bumblebee song somewhere.
Night went to
I don't know
day.
if there is, though.
The day was hot.
I don't know what
This
it's
was
called
yet
anyway.
another
I
problem,
should know, but I
because
don't.
it's early February,
'Cause I'm
there's
stupid.
tons of ice still in the ground, and its exposure to the fresh midday sun meant that the walls of the shaft were softening and the ground becoming sodden. The pace of digging slowed. It was now only half a foot per hour. Most anyone could do was watch helplessly
Oh,
on the
Flight of the
sidelines.
Bumblebee. Oh. I get what you mean now. That's a good song.
Interestingly, though, There were a lot of people on the sidelines. Floyd wouldn't have believed that the space above him had turned into a literal carnival in his honor. Vendors showed up to sell hamburgers, hot dogs, and souvenirs. Families sprawled out over blankets to listen to hymns from local church groups. The local mountebanks sold moonshine and miracle cures. There was even a bloody juggler. And Old Man Lee was there, walking around, shaking his jar, and soliciting donations.
What the fuck, man?
But where were Homer and Burden and Miller during all of this? Okay, let's back up a bit. People did not properly understand exactly how Floyd was trapped, and the news didn't help much either. So the obvious question started to arise. Why hasn't he been rescued yet? Just clear some gravel or pull a rope. How is this so hard? Motive was attributed.
I heard they didn't even want to have him rescued at all.
I heard that they're doing all of this for publicity.
And Lee's activity of soliciting donations, remember from before, further inflamed rumors.
I bet Floyd isn't even trapped in there.
These were all real rumors, and they got worse.
You know what? I've heard he comes out at night, and then he just goes back in the morning.
Other rumors included...
I heard that after Floyd went into the cave, someone murdered him.
Others said...
I think they're withholding food and water from him so he dies.
Huh?
This whole thing is a fraud.
As time went on, it was harder and harder to ignore the hoax claims.
What?
Then, people started to form righteous mobs, claiming the whole thing was a fraud, and they started to get nasty. In fact, 2 people even went to the telegraph office and pretended to be Floyd sending telegrams to his mother. Here's what it said. Quote, "Please contradict statements that I am buried alive in Sand Cave. Stop. Tell mother I am all right. Stop. Am coming home. Stop. Floyd Collins."
No.
Naturally, the AP published these telegrams unquestioningly, and now word is out to the press that he isn't actually in the cave after all. That made the authorities look foolish, and it could not go on. So, a hasty court-martial was arranged, and Homer, Miller, and Gerald were summoned. They hold one session on Monday and another on Tuesday. Lee and everyone else is cleared of charges, a retraction is written, and things carry on.
Bro.
Generators rumbled.
That
Pumps
pisses me
churned
off.
out water.
What the
Men
fuck,
continued
man?
working in shifts. And
This
carrying
information
away
is
the
so
earth.
disgusting.
Here they are with strips of lumber to shore up the walls. They were only 25 feet down. The pace had slowed to 4 inches per hour. In their desperation, they resorted to dynamite. But this did little to the boulders. Despite all these bleak
So not even dynamite could
circumstances,
do enough
people's
damage,
spirits
huh?
were high. Because everyone was
Damn.
keen for their turn to dig. And because they had one more thing to latch onto. He is probably still alive.
Uh-oh.
Now, how do they know that? Okay, so remember that light bulb around Floyd's neck? Well, it's powered by a simple copper wire. Bare copper wire is subject to very minute fluctuations in resistance.
Oh.
So, an engineer rigs up a radio amplifier to this wire to read the current and see those small fluctuations.
Okay.
There they were. About 20 per minute. The rate of steady breathing. As his
Oh, it's
chest
sharing
expands and
his
contracts,
breathing.
they can read it from this device.
Oh.
And so, they kept going.
Dun, 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 dun.
And going.
That's
And
too many
going.
hours down below.
30 hours was the original estimate. Now 144 hours had come and gone, and they were only at 44 feet.
That's
Then, rain fell.
not fun.
Rain that mixed with dirt to make mud, much of which then froze to make ice. Ice which expanded and damaged the integrity of the shaft walls. Slowing down with every hour, they continued. Many more hours passed, and they were getting close. But it was now 15 days since Floyd was first stuck in that cave.
15
and
days.
People had mostly lost hope. That excitement in the newspapers was tempering down. Visitors began clearing out from Cave City. Many still held on to hope.
Yeah, that's true. It should just be called a light.
But their
Stop
final
lying.
lifeline, that light bulb, had burnt out. And it wasn't possible to do any more readings on the radio amplifier without it. No one knew if Floyd was still alive.
No one knew.
Another 51 hours would pass before, finally, they reached the 60-foot depth.
Damn.
I'm in. Chisel.
A chisel
60
was handed
feet,
down.
man.
At 1:30 p.m. on Monday, February 16th, Sand Cave would open once again. For 17 days, Floyd had been trapped underground,
17 days.
stuck in the same position. 4 days without heat or light. 12 without food or water. But maybe the dripping of the cave water had provided him with some sustenance?
No.
There are stories of people surviving harsher extremes. Rescuers frantically tugged at rocks to widen the hole. Everybody stood by, absolutely silent, peering into that hole. Ed flashed his light into the gap, then eased himself in. Brenner aimed his light around the room, and then, finally, at Floyd.
And then Floyd.
The first thing he saw was a golden shimmer.
Golden
It
shimmer.
was not the light bulb. It was the reflection of Floyd's tooth. His mouth hung open. He was dead.
He was dead. He didn't make it. He didn't make it. Damn. Damn, dude. Like, wow. That's just depressing. They did all that for him. And they were just too late, is what the issue was that they weren't fast enough. So yeah, he died. That's sad. I mean, there's more to the story, obviously, but I think what I'll do is go through go through my Discord stuff real quick.
News. I posited.
Okay, we need to fix this. Hold on. Bum ba da bum bum. Bum ba da bum bum. I gotta make sure that this is working properly. Alright, so here is what Draco sent me earlier this stream. Let me pop it over here.
News. I positive tested for both. 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 I tested for COVID. I got a new roach. I positive tested for COVID. I tested positive for both. I'm positive for both of them.
Oh my god.
I tested positive for COVID. 14 days in quarantine.
Oh my god. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but that was funny. It was funny. And I had one message for another Discord video. Once I watch this one, I will go ahead and get ready to raid someone. Alright. I got flu. Yeah, that's crazy. The fact you got the flu. That was nutty. Bad timing, one would say.
Mi się całkiem kurwa światło wyłącza, patrz to. Mi się ciemno robi,
Oh,
kurwa.
I can't read what that says. Hold on.
Mi się całkiem kurwa światło wyłącza, patrz to. Mi się ciemno robi, kurwa. Jakie to jest kurwa głupie. To jest kurwa smart kuchnia, patrz. Tu se światło wyłączę mikrofalówką, kurwa, a tosterem se rozjaśnię.
Oh, what the fuck is that? That's ridiculous. That's funny as fuck. I fucking love that. Alright. That was all the videos that I was submitted today. I want to thank you all for joining today for stream. Much appreciated. I really do appreciate all of the support. Okay. Gotta make sure I'm doing this right. Let's go ahead and try to find someone to raid. Fuck, why were they in the same breaker? That's what I don't understand. That's what confuses me. Oh, I know exactly who I'm gonna raid today. Alright, I'm gonna be raiding one of my closest friends. Yeah, Besmara. That's exactly who I'm gonna be raiding. She's a very close friend of mine, and you know, give her all the love and support. And so, yeah. I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I really appreciate all the support. Stay safe, stay warm, and all that fun stuff. And I will catch you on the next stream. I will let you know at on the socials. Like, just keep an eye on my socials is all I'll say. Oh, that's the wrong one. Wrong command. So, oh, there we go. All right. I will catch you all later. Bye-bye.